Where is that Christian? He should be here by now. I hope he didn't get sidetracked. Ah! I was starting to get worried about you. Come in, come in. I am the interpreter. I keep it a bit dark in here. That's so you can pay attention to the things that you are supposed to pay attention to. Ah, here we go. I've put together a little presentation for you, you know, to make things easier. Did you want popcorn? No, thank you. Suit yourself. Roll the film. Do you know who this is?
Christ?
That's right, Jesus Christ, the Son of God. He is the only person that God ever gave authority to be our guide in all difficult places. Remember this well, for others have made false claims to speak for God, but their ways always lead to death. Now here is a man in a very dusty room. It looks like he is going to try to sweep it. Oh my, look at that dust fly. He will never clean it up like that. But wait a second. Let's see what happens when some water is sprinkled on the floor. Oh, look at that. The dust is cleaned.
What does this mean?
The room is the human heart. The dust was this man's original sin and corruption. When he swept, he was trying to clean it with God's law. He thought that he could clean it by himself, but he couldn't. He just stirred the dust up and almost choked on it. The water is the gospel of Christ. With it, the room was cleaned.
So his heart was cleansed, not by his hard work, but by the gospel of Christ.
Here are two children. One is named Patience. The other is named Greed. They have both been told that they will have good things, but Greed cannot wait. He wants it all now. Patience is waiting quietly and is content. Since Greed cannot wait, he has been given a bag of treasure. But soon his treasure is spent, and he is in rags again. Patience is the last to receive her reward, and since she is last, her treasure lasts forever. Remember, the first must make room for the second must make room for the third, but the last must make room for no one. Therefore, the treasure that is given last is eternal.
And what is this? A wall is burning. It looks like a man is throwing water on the fire, but the fire cannot be put out.
Well, look there. You cannot see him, but there is another person quietly pouring oil on the wall from the other side and feeding the fire so that it will never go out.
What does it mean?
The wall is your spirit. The fire is the fire of God working in you. The man throwing water on the fire is Satan, the devil. He doesn't understand why he can't put the fire out. The man putting oil on the wall is Christ. He pours the oil of his grace on the fire and will never let it die. Now, if you let your guard down, the devil's efforts grow stronger and the fire weakens, but it never goes out.
Who is this man? Why does he look so sad?
Well, why don't you ask him?
Sir, what has happened to you?
I once thought I was righteous, and I was happy with such thoughts, but I gave in to my lusts and desires. I wanted worldly things and turned my back to God. Now I have difficulty taking pleasure in His word. I have lost myself to my temptation. I am in an iron cage of despair. Since I have not counted His grace as a holy thing, I have shut myself out of His promises for this world.
Lord, help me to watch and be sober, so that this man's misery never falls on me.
Remember it well. You can lose your earthly blessings of joy and peace by choosing to give in to the evil desires of this world. Accepting Christ and walking with Christ can be two very different things. There is much joy in walking with Christ. Turning your back on Him puts you right back into the despair of this world. I will remember. You are ready to continue your journey, young Christian.
What does this mean? Are you Jesus, the Son of God? Are you here to die for the sins of the world? You see, I have this, my burden, my sin. I cannot rid myself of it. Will you be kind enough to bear it for me and die for me as well?
Your sins have been forgiven.
You are a new creation.
You now bear the mark of Christ. It cannot be removed. Go in peace.